Adriatic Metals is a precious and base metals explorer and developer that owns the world-class Vares silver project in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The project consists of 2 deposits, and the company is now focused on expediting exploration to expand the current JORC resource. Here to provide analyst insights from Canaccord Genuity is Paul Howard. Paul, welcome to TCN TV.
Thanks, Natalie. Great to be here.
Paul, you released a research note earlier this month. Can you talk us through the highlights?
Yeah, absolutely. So released a note last week on Adriatic. That's just following a release of their updated resource for the Vares project in Bosnia. On a high level, the resource has come out. It's a bit of a primer for the PFS that's coming up at the end of the month. Essentially, the resource has gotten bigger, which is great. Tons have gone up, so contained metals increased by about 5%. Overall tons have gone up by a bit more than that, so overall grades come off a slight bit, but I think there's a bit of a key in that as to Adriatic can increase the mine life of the starter operation at Rupitsa, so that's currently about an 8 or 9 year opportunity. There's a Vares open pit at the end of the mine life, and I think that is sort of less appealing in the terms of cash flow. So really in increasing the size of Rupitsa, they can lengthen that mine life, and therefore overall the profitability of the operation is elevated, and we should get a taste of that in the PFS in a couple of weeks, early October perhaps.
So when it comes to operations, what is most compelling to you about Adriatic's operations, and why may this not be understood in full by the market?
Sure. I mean, Adriatic IPO'd in, I think it was 2018. It was one of the best IPOs of the year. Everyone got really interested with it. There was a 64 meter intercept at about 25 grams gold equivalent. It's a bit crude to use gold equivalent, but I think it's easiest for people to understand that. I think what people perhaps don't see is that on a gold equivalent, and this is recovered and payability is all factored in, but this project could produce 150 to 200,000 ounces per annum for about 9 years. And that's for Aussie all-in sustaining costs in gold equivalents of $800 to $900 an ounce. So that really appealing for a company that's capped at less than 400 million. And obviously it's first prime mover in Bosnia, and there's lots of exploration upside, and we saw that with the company expanding its footprint very recently. So a very compelling opportunity in a region that's perhaps less understood by the ASX watchers.
So Paul, what is your outlook for the industry in which Adriatic operates?
Being in Bosnia, it's for us, it's sort of less known as a mining jurisdiction. There are mines operating in country. If you sort of look at the commodity mix in general, Adriatic it's polymetallic, so they've got zinc, lead, copper, barite, they've got gold, they've got silver. The deposit, actually, given the rise of silver recently, the deposit at Vares is silver dominant, so it's effectively a silver deposit. They've also got antimony in there as well, so a broad mix. And what we like to see is you've got the underlying base metal value there, which we see continuing to rise. And obviously then there's the precious metals. You've got gold and silver, which sort of sometimes work in tandem, but also opposite to where the base metal prices go. And so really good to see good gold credit in there, good silver, good zinc. On a revenue basis, the deposit is about 34% silver, about 21% zinc, and then there's about 10% of gold value in there in the revenue. So strong underlying value from gold, which is always great to see in these polymetallic deposits.
Okay, and when it comes to risks, Paul, could you outline the possible risks that are facing Adriatic?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the broader investment community perhaps doesn't get Bosnia as a destination, and I think Adriatic is doing an excellent job in demonstrating that to the community. I've been there a couple of times, so I feel I'm very comfortable with the jurisdiction. There's risks around royalties, there's risks around permitting and ownership of the project, and look, I think the existing royalty of about 0.2% of revenue is quite low when you look at other areas, and I think something like 5% is probably maybe that's conservative, but I think that's probably more appropriate for a project like this. Ownership and permitting, Adriatic's done a fantastic job in the last year or so, demonstrating its project ownership and progressing through permitting, and it's made some very key appointments at board level and indeed in senior management. Sunil Karich, she's a local lawyer, is on the board and believes doing an excellent job locally. There's a guy, Dominic Roberts, recently appointed. He's responsible for obtaining a permit for a local lead carbonate mine in 2018. So the company surrounded themselves with people who know how to work in country, and that's a real positive. But there's always risk associated with these.
Finally, Paul, your rating. What is your current rating on Adriatic and why?
So at Canaccord, we have a speculative buy rating on Adriatic. It's a fantastic opportunity, hence the buy rating there, and being pre-development, we put it on a speculative nature. So we've got a PFS obviously coming out very soon, and that's a key catalyst for the company. There's environmental permitting due for Rupitsa. That was submitted in April, so we should hear a resolution on that very soon. So look, I think it's an excellent story, one I'm very familiar with. But I suppose viewers just need to be aware that this is it's not, it's general advice. It's not specific to people's circumstances, and I think they'd need to sort of speak to their financial advisors before taking any further action. But look, I'm a big fan of Adriatic. It's a good company and very much worth a look.
Paul Howard, thank you for your insights on Adriatic Metals today.
Great, thank you very much.
And thank you for watching. Now, if you like what you see, please be sure to like and share the video, subscribe to TCN TV, and drop us a comment. Tell us who you would like to see and what you would like me to ask them. Or if you're an investor, send us an email for the latest ideas to empower.